Merry Christmas to all the bullies. Welcome to another horrifying show at Crime Bull Podcast, where it's true crime, no bull. Merry Christmas, Jill. I hope you're doing well on this wintry day.
Merry Christmas, Bill. I'm feeling great. I'm in the spirit. I love Christmas time.
Christmas is great, but we have chilling stories today of Christmas murders.
Yeah.
Let's solve some crime. You sent over some research on Christmas time murders.
Yeah.
Specifically, like going beyond the super famous cases. Some of these lesser-known stories are truly unsettling.
Yeah. What's fascinating is how this time of year, associated with joy and family, can also be a backdrop for such darkness.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about the complexities of human behavior.
Right. Like the Sodder family murders from 1945.
Yeah.
5 kids disappear after a Christmas Eve fire, but no bodies are ever found.
Yeah. That's always,
It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah. The lack of bodies always fuels speculation.
Right.
And, in fire investigations, the absence of remains often leads investigators down the path of possible kidnapping or deliberate cover-up.
Yeah.
It's a classic element of mystery.
And to add to the mystery, the family receives a letter in 1968, supposedly from one of the missing children.
Wow.
So it's like this sliver of hope, but also incredibly frustrating because it doesn't give any concrete answers. Were they kidnapped? Did they run away? Or did something more sinister happen?
It's a mystery that continues to haunt people to this day. The lack of closure for the family is heartbreaking.
Yeah. Speaking of, happy occasion turning dark, the Covina massacre of 2008,
Oh, yeah.
a guy dressed as Santa Claus opens fire at a family Christmas party.
It's almost unbelievable.
It's almost too horrific to imagine.
I know.
Yeah.
The motive behind this tragedy was rooted in anger and revenge. Bruce Pardo, the perpetrator, was driven by rage over a recent divorce and targeted his ex-wife's family during their Christmas celebration.
If it was about revenge, why target the children? That part always throws me.
Well, it's a tragic example of how rage can completely consume someone, leading them to commit unspeakable acts. The death toll was staggering. 9 people lost their lives, including an 8-year-old girl.
Oh my gosh.
Pardo had planned his escape, but his plan was foiled by the severe burns he sustained while setting the house on fire. Ultimately, he took his own life.
Wow.
It's just a case that shows how destructive anger and resentment can be, especially during a time that's supposed to be about togetherness.
Yeah, absolutely. And it reminds us that even amidst holiday cheer, it's crucial to be aware of potential warning signs and seek help when family situations become volatile.
Yeah, I agree.
The Dayton, Ohio Christmas killings in 1992 are a different kind of chilling. This case involves a small gang called the Downtown Posse, who went on a 3-day killing spree during Christmas time.
Wow.
Their first victim was tragically killed on Christmas Eve, and their final victims, just 2 days later, were 2 of their own gang members.
Oh, wow.
Who were murdered to prevent them from talking to the police.
Oh, my gosh.
What struck me about this case is the ages of the killers. They were all teenagers. The oldest was only 20.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder that even young people can be capable of horrific acts of violence.
Yeah. The sentences handed down in this case reflect the severity of the crimes. 3 of the killers are currently serving life sentences.
Wow.
While a 4th was executed in 2009.
It makes you wonder what leads teenagers down such a dark path.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but it speaks to the need for intervention and support systems for at-risk youth.
Right.
We need to address the root causes of gang violence and provide young people with alternatives to a life of crime.
Speaking of chilling premeditation, there's a case from the UK in 2014 that echoes that element. Samina Imam, a 34-year-old woman, was lured into a Christmas Eve trip by her married lover. It sounds like the setup for a bad holiday rom-com, but it turned out to be so much worse.
Oh, no.
What makes this case particularly disturbing is the level of premeditation. Roger Cooper, the lover, and his brother David used a Star Wars-esque code to plan the murder weeks in advance.
Oh, wow.
Almost like they were playing a game, but with deadly consequences.
Yeah, that's chilling.
They stalk at David's house, attacked Samina, used chloroform and heavy metals to subdue her, and then disposed of her body. The whole thing is just horrifying. Thankfully, they were caught quickly and sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Wow.
It's a reminder that even seemingly ordinary people can be capable of terrible things, and it underscores the importance of trusting your instincts.
Yeah.
If something feels off, it probably is.
Absolutely.
Now, the case of Tricia McCauley, an actress killed on Christmas Day in Washington, D.C., is just heartbreaking. It seems like a truly random act of violence.
Yeah.
Macaulay's death was a senseless tragedy. She was carjacked, beaten, and strangled by a homeless man named Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, my God.
He later pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison.
It's just...
This one really makes you think about vulnerability.
Yeah.
We all have a sense of safety, especially during the holidays, but this case reminds us that violence can erupt anywhere, at any time.
It's a reminder to be aware of our surroundings and take precautions.
Right.
But it also raises questions about the support systems available for individuals experiencing homelessness and the need to address mental health issues that can contribute to such tragic events.
We can't talk about Christmas murders without at least touching on the JonBenet Ramsey case. This one has captivated the world for decades and continues to generate theories and speculation to this day.
Yeah, it's classic.
The 6-year-old beauty queen was found dead in her family's basement the day after Christmas in 1996. There was a ransom note, the focus on the parents, but ultimately a lack of conclusive evidence.
It's a case that highlights the complexities of criminal investigations and the enduring power of unanswered questions.
Yeah.
It's a story that refuses to fade from public consciousness and continues to spark debate and intrigue.
Yeah.
What stands out to you about this case?
Honestly, it's the enduring mystery.
Yeah.
There's something about a case that remains unsolved for so long that really captures the imagination. And the fact that it happened during the holidays in a seemingly picture-perfect family adds another layer of intrigue.
Yeah.
It just shows that appearances can be deceiving.
You're right. It's a stark reminder that darkness can lurk beneath the surface, even in the most unexpected places. And sometimes the truth remains elusive, leaving us with more questions than answers.
Now, the Dallas Christmas killings of 2011
share
some chilling similarities with the Covina massacre.
Okay.
Another man dressed as Santa Claus, this time killing his estranged family at their apartment.
Wow.
But there's a detail in this one that makes it especially disturbing.
Oh.
What's particularly chilling is that Aziz Yazdanpana, the perpetrator, opened presents with his victims before shooting them.
Oh my God.
It's a horrifying example of how violence can erupt even amidst seemingly joyful moments.
It's chilling.
And one of the victims managed to call 911 before they were all killed.
Oh, wow.
It's a heartbreaking reminder of the suddenness with which tragedy can strike and the lasting trauma it inflicts on those left behind.
This case, like the Covina massacre, underscores the devastating impact of domestic violence and the need for greater awareness and support for those affected by it. It's crucial to remember that help is available and no one should suffer in silence.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears a bit and go back in time to 1929 to examine the Lawson family murders. This case involves a man named Charlie Lawson who killed his wife and 7 of his 8 children on Christmas Day.
Oh my gosh.
It's a level of horror that's hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
The motive behind this horrific act remains a mystery, but we do know that Lawson had been complaining of headaches and insomnia in the months leading up to the murders.
Okay.
And there were cryptic notes found on his body.
Yeah.
One read, "Trouble can cause," while the other said, "Nobody to blame."
Wow.
These messages offer little insight into his state of mind, but they add another layer of mystery and intrigue to this tragic case.
It's a case that has fascinated and horrified people for decades. And it continues to serve as a reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. It also highlights the importance of mental health awareness and the need to seek help when struggling with emotional or psychological distress.
You're right. It's a reminder that we should never underestimate the importance of mental health.
Yeah.
Reaching out for help can be a sign of strength, not weakness.
Exactly. And sometimes simply listening to someone who's struggling can make all the difference.
Now, the case of Giselle Preston is particularly tragic because of the irony involved.
Oh.
She was studying to be a domestic violence counselor when she herself became a victim of domestic violence on Christmas Eve in 2011.
Oh, wow.
It's a heartbreaking example of how domestic violence can affect anyone, regardless of their profession or their commitment to helping others. Preston was dedicated to helping others escape the cycle of abuse, but tragically, she couldn't escape it herself.
It's just awful.
Her husband, William Wallace, beat her to death after an argument and then staged a horrific scene on Christmas morning.
Oh my gosh.
He propped her body on the couch and forced Preston's young daughters to open their presents next to their dead mother.
That's unimaginable.
It's a scene that defies comprehension and underscores the depths of depravity to which some individuals can sink.
The cruelty is just unimaginable. Wallace was convicted of second-degree murder and is due to be released from prison in 2036.
Whoa, my gosh.
This case serves as a somber reminder of the ongoing fight against domestic violence and the need for continued efforts to support survivors and hold perpetrators accountable.
You know, hearing these cases, it's hard not to feel a sense of despair.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that amidst the darkness, there are also stories of resilience and hope.
Right.
We have to focus on the strength of the survivors and the tireless efforts of those who work to prevent violence and support those who have been affected by it.
You're absolutely right. It's crucial to remember that while these cases are undeniably tragic, they don't represent the entirety of the human experience. There are countless individuals and organizations working tirelessly to combat violence, promote peace, and offer support to those in need. Their efforts are a testament to the enduring power of hope and the unwavering belief in a better future.
It's a good reminder to hold on to that hope, even as we confront the darkest aspects of human behavior.
I agree.
We have to keep striving for a world where violence isn't the answer, and where love, compassion, and understanding prevail.
I completely agree. And I think that's a good place to pause for now.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground, and it's important to give ourselves time to process these stories.
Sure.
When we come back, we'll delve into even more cases that highlight the complexities of human behavior and the dark side of the holiday season.
Yeah, we'll be right back after a short break.
As we delve deeper into these cases, it's striking how often the perpetrators are people who are close to the victims.
Yeah.
It challenges the notion that danger always comes from strangers.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We tend to think of, like, stranger danger.
Right.
But so many of these cases involve family members, lovers, even friends. It's a reminder that violence can erupt anywhere.
Right.
Even within the supposed safety of our closest relationships.
Exactly. And it speaks to the importance of recognizing the signs of abuse and taking action to protect ourselves and those around us.
Right.
Sometimes the people we think we know best can be the ones who pose the greatest threat.
Let's talk about the case of Stephanie Kilhefner.
Okay.
Murdered by her husband, Dustin Lee Klopp, on Christmas Eve in 2014. What struck me about this one was the sheer brutality of the crime.
Klopp's actions were truly horrific. He punched Kilhefner, slit her throat, and then struck her multiple times with an axe before hiding her body in a shed on their property.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard to fathom the rage and cruelty behind such an attack.
And then he went and celebrated Christmas with his parents and children, acting like nothing had happened.
I know, it's chilling to think about the level of deception involved.
It's a disturbing reminder that some people can maintain a facade of normalcy while hiding a dark secret. And it highlights the importance of being aware of potential warning signs, even if they seem subtle or easily dismissed.
Right.
It makes you wonder about the children. What kind of impact does witnessing such violence, even indirectly, have on young minds?
The psychological effects of witnessing or experiencing violence, especially within the family, can be devastating and long-lasting. It can lead to trauma, anxiety, depression, and a host of other issues.
Yeah.
It's essential to provide children who have been exposed to violence with the support and resources they need to heal and thrive.
Absolutely. We often focus on the immediate victims of these crimes, but the ripple effects extend far beyond. Entire families, communities, even generations can be impacted by these acts of violence.
You're right. The trauma can be passed down, creating a cycle of violence that's difficult to break.
Right.
That's why it's so important to address the root causes of violence, promote healthy relationships, and create a culture of peace and understanding.
Now let's talk about the Carnation Christmas Eve murders from 2007. 6 family members found dead.
Yeah.
The alleged motive being a dispute over money.
Wow.
It's hard to believe that something as seemingly trivial as a financial disagreement could lead to such a horrific outcome.
It's a tragic example of how greed and resentment can poison family relationships and escalate into unimaginable acts of violence. The perpetrators, Michelle Anderson and her boyfriend, Joseph McEnroe, targeted her own parents, brother, sister-in-law, niece, and nephew.
Oh my gosh.
It's a case that underscores the fragility of family bonds and the destructive power of unchecked anger.
It's like something out of Shakespeare.
I know.
A family torn apart by greed and betrayal.
Right.
It makes you question the very nature of family and the supposed unconditional love that's supposed to bind us together.
It's a reminder that even within the closest of relationships, darkness can fester and erupt with devastating consequences.
Yeah.
It's crucial to recognize that family dynamics can be complex and challenging.
Right.
And sometimes seeking outside help or intervention is necessary to prevent tragedy.
I think it's important to acknowledge that while we're focusing on the dark side of the holiday season, these cases are not the norm. Most people experience Christmas as a time of joy, love, and togetherness.
Right.
But these stories serve as a reminder that darkness exists alongside the light, and we must be vigilant in protecting ourselves and those we care about.
I agree. It's not about dwelling on the negative, but rather about being informed and aware.
Right.
By understanding the complexities of human behavior and the factors that contribute to violence, we can be better equipped to prevent it and promote a more peaceful and compassionate world. You know, as we've examined these cases, one thing that keeps coming up is the idea of missed opportunities. Were there signs that could have been recognized? Were there interventions that might have prevented these tragedies?
It's a haunting thought. Yeah, it makes you wonder if there's anything we can do to be more aware, to recognize the warning signs before it's too late.
It's a complex issue, but I think education and open communication are key. We need to talk more about domestic violence, mental health issues, and the dangers of unchecked anger and resentment. We need to create a culture where people feel comfortable seeking help, both for themselves and for others who might be struggling.
It's like that saying, it takes a village.
Yeah.
We need to look out for each other, not just during the holidays, but all year round.
Exactly. And it's not just about recognizing the signs of potential violence, but also about fostering empathy and understanding.
Right.
We need to be more compassionate and less judgmental. We need to be willing to listen to each other's stories, even when they're difficult to hear.
I think sometimes we're afraid to get involved, afraid of overstepping boundaries.
Yeah.
But maybe that fear is what prevents us from making a difference. Maybe sometimes we need to be a little bit brave and reach out, even if it feels awkward or uncomfortable.
I agree. It's about finding that balance between respecting people's privacy and offering support when it's needed. It's about creating a culture of caring where we look out for one another and don't shy away from difficult conversations.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Christmas-time murders, I'm left with a sense of sadness, but also a renewed determination to make a difference.
Yeah.
These stories are a reminder that even amidst the joy and celebration of the holiday season, darkness can lurk. But they also highlight the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of working together to create a more peaceful and compassionate world.
Well said. It's about holding on to that hope even as we confront the darkest aspects of human nature and remembering that each of us has the power to make a difference no matter how small.
Right.
It starts with individual acts of kindness, empathy, and understanding. And from there, we can build a better future one where violence is not the answer and where peace and love prevail.
True crime, no bull.